Rise and shine, it's a brand new day. Ken can take the stage, ready to play. Weekdays at 10, the cars in the scene. Coffee in hand, they're living the dream. Question in the voice, got the whole town awake. Bringing fire to the mic, make no mistake. Shows in the corner, spitting out facts. Dropping truth bombs, ain't holding back. Ken in the morning, feel the heat. From 10 a.m. CST, can take a seat. Live and loud, that break in the mind. Light up your speakers, crank up the sound. They're talking about life upside down. Opinions exploded like a sonic blast. In the studio, they're built to last. With passion and grit, they engage and ignite. Every single week, they're all force can't fight. From sports to politics,
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Ken and Ken in the Morning. How are you doing this morning, Ken?
I'm breathing, so it's got to be good.
Okay, yeah, that's one way of looking. Some interesting news out of Chicago yesterday. It looks like Jalen Johnson might not be out for the whole year.
Oh, what did his injury end up being then?
Well, no, he's still having surgery. But there's a return late in the season, possibly.
So he's kind of on the same prognosis as Jaden Reed there, that, yeah, it's going to be a long recovery, but you got a shot at coming back at the end of the year.
Yeah, pretty much. And the Bears signed a kicker this week.
Didn't you guys just sign one last week?
Moody. I might have just been seeing late when I was on the cruise, but I just saw that today because I was reading through some stuff.
Okay, yeah, I thought it was last week they signed him.
Yeah, well, I'll blame the cruise ship for that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still sending this out to Twitter here.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Man, I'm surprised we don't have a Joe yet.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm. Kids are sitting there screaming in his ear, "We don't want to go to school. Why you make us?"
I do not miss those days, man.
I'm so glad I never had to deal with those days.
I mean, look at it. It's still the best, man. Being a parent.
Hey, my dog's quite annoying enough. I don't want, to have something that depends on me that can actually talk back.
Well, I need Joe to get out here because we need to start talking about this Bears-Raiders game.
He said, nah, man, I don't want to come on.
Sure. No, he's not sure.
Yeah, yeah, he's ducking and hiding you, man.
So we start the international games this week too.
Oh yeah, we're starting at 9:30 Eastern, I think.
Yeah, Sunday mornings are really good morning, Woody.
Yeah, what's up there, Woody?
Almost done here with getting on
Yeah, the one thing that I will say that I do like about having these international games is pretty much relatively as soon as you wake up and actually wake up, not just open your eyes, come to life type of shit. There's football all damn day long.
I mean, the NFL's been really good with how they market themselves for sure. Who's popping in?
Oh, there is a Joe. He's not running scared of you.
Running scared of who?
Of Ken. You guys got War Week.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Eric's little ass was on here talking crazy.
Don't book the cruise. He's leaving tomorrow. What? No. But no, I mean, the NFL's got to start the market. I mean, okay, we're week 4. We got probably next 6, 7, how many international games? 6 weeks in a row? 6 weeks or so, or we got a couple in a row because I know Minnesota's back to back, right? This week and the next week in England. The NFL's getting smart, man. They turned Sunday start at 9 a.m. Central and go till midnight. I mean, the entire day is now NFL football.
Oh, absolutely.
Monday, then you got Thursday. Now you got, and then week you get Thanksgiving, 3 games of Thanksgiving. Then you get Black Friday. Then you get a full day of Sunday again. It's ridiculous.
Like I'm cool and all with the Thanksgiving Day games and shit, even the Black Friday and Christmas games. But these Thursday night games, we keep seeing guys get injured left, right, and center. To me, it's just you're putting these guys through too much, asking them to do that on a regular basis. Granted, yes, I know that they revolve the teams and all that, but still, no matter what team's playing, you're at a disadvantage.
I mean, I think Thursday night's fine. They're used to it by now. I think teams are used to Thursday. I mean, that's the whole thing. It's conditioning these guys to get used to this stuff, and the Thursday night's going on long enough now. I think they're okay.
To me, it's just there's a hell of a lot of quick turnaround for Sunday to play Thursday for something that's a violent of a sport is football. Shit, how many times would you guys hear these players talking and they don't feel at least even semi-normal till about Friday, Saturday?
You know, hockey's a pretty violent sport too, though. And these guys play back-to-back nights.
Yes, but I am not as well versed in hockey, so I definitely can't speak on that.
I mean, it's different type of violence maybe than in the NFL. I get that. But dude, like take some cross checks in the boards, right? NHL is not, let's say, a non-violent sport. It's definitely a contact sport. But I mean, these guys will play back-to-back. Like, they'll play a game and 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours later, they're back on the ice.
Ooh. I was gonna say that's a hell of a freaking turnaround.
Dude, they move pretty quick. Sometimes you get these home and aways where you have a game at 7 p.m. on let's say Tuesday night or on Friday night, and then you have a 3 p.m. start at home at your place the next day.
All right, girls.
That's ridiculous.
NHL, I mean, these guys had instances where
Eric?
they had games back to back in under 24 hours. So, I mean, I get it, but at the same time, I don't think. I think that there's a little bit to it at the same time, not as much.
Well, like to me, if they would do it after the bye weeks, is do a Thursday night game. The team coming off a bye plays on Thursday. I wouldn't be against that because you still get at least some recovery time of the week there, and then you got 10 days off after, but they get you reacclimated.
But look, you play Thursday night. You already have the mini bye. You get a mini bye out.
Yeah, I was going to say that helps for the week after that game, but not going into it.
But I mean, more times than not, I won't say it never happens. It's not like it's an unfair advantage for one team or another. Both teams will play on Sunday, then they'll play on Thursday. So it's not like it's a distinct advantage for one team or the other.
Yeah, I get what you're saying with that. It's just I think both teams are at a disadvantage. I don't think there's like a competitive advantage on the Thursday night game. I just think it kind of tips away a little more for both teams.
There we go. I had to finish my eggs. My wife, she always tends to bring me food right as we're going on air. I don't know, man. I mean, I get the argument, but Thursday night I'm fine with. I think players in the league overall are at this point.
Or you know what? I'd even be not to cut you off there, but the idea just popped in my head. I'd be okay if instead of having Monday be the last game of the week, have Thursday be the last game of the week there. Or no, yeah, have the weeks. No. Oh.
No.
Yeah,
That
yeah, I was just thinking about that too, because that's going to lead to shit too.
So what, you have a Thursday, Sunday turnaround then?
Yeah. I was going to say the Thursday's just a crap day.
I mean, really, here's what it comes down to. Thursday night is a shorter preparation time for coaching staffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the main bitch.
Well,
That's the main, we don't have enough time to really plan for a team. Okay, I get that. The recovery thing.
That's what I worry about more is the recovery than the planning.
The recovery thing, dude, like I said, NHL guys go back to back. NBA guys go back to back. Soccer guys go at times, not as often, because believe it or not, professional soccer is on a same kind of schedule as the NFL. Like for league games, they're on Saturday in Germany. Saturday is league match day, right? That's Bundesliga day. Now, however, that being said, they get tournament games like UEFA and the extra tournaments and stuff that teams are in. They'll play a Saturday, then they'll play Wednesday, right? So soccer kind of is on the same schedule, man. Like even MLS, these guys play once a week. They have a game. Every so often they'll have 2 games in a week, but the other game is because of some tournament, something special. But now when you look at the what's the tournament they play here in the MLS with the teams from Mexico, but these guys will play 2 or 3 games in a week, right? That for them, that's a different type of workload as a team. But like, I don't know. I'm not against Thursday night football.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I like it as a fan that we get an extra day of football. I'm just trying to think about it from the player's perspective, and with all the rash of injuries we've seen pop up on Thursday.
I think the Thursday game kind of starts more because of the Thanksgiving game with the Lions started doing it. And the NFL realized, hey, look, we can play on Thursdays. And I think we've been playing full schedules on Thursdays now for almost a decade.
Yeah, somewhere around there at least.
At this point, it's a part of the NFL fabric. It's a part of life, right? I mean, they're not going to get rid of Thursday. In fact, they're looking for ways to get more games on more days and make TV more NFL centric. That's why we started to see the Black Friday game now. Because hey, let's capitalize on Thanksgiving weekend and get a game on a Friday. That's why when college football's over, they start playing games on Saturday. And now the NFL's like, let's start playing games in Europe, so we get them at 9:00 in the morning Central, all the way until midnight by then the Sunday Night Football, which, by the way, is a newer construct too, right? It used to be you had the early game, the late game, and that was it. Sunday Night Football.
When did Sunday Night Football come about? Because it's been around my whole life.
It's been around a while now, but it wasn't. They didn't always have this individual late game like they do now, right? So I mean, the NFL has been looking for ways to grow and expand its footprint in the media, and this does it. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of Thursday Night Football, just like we're not going to get rid of Sunday Night Football.
Yeah. Even with me sitting here arguing against it, I don't think we're getting rid of Thursday night either. It's just I want to try to find a way that limits the risk of injury.
You're not. I mean, look, at least NFL doesn't have you play Monday Night Football then Thursday.
Yeah, I was gonna say give them some time. They'll fucking try it.
I mean, they and usually the guys who play Thursday usually play the early game on Sunday. Usually, the NFL does try to do that, but Jim is right. It's all about the money. I don't know. I mean, look at some do. I mean, the problem is this: is when they do the schedule, right? You don't know how the teams are going to look the following year, and sometimes they do matchups that look like they might be good, but they're not. Division games are usually pretty good. 2006 is when Sunday Night Football started. Thank you. Because that wasn't always a thing.
Really?
So Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you used to only have two time slots. That was it. Two times. Look at before 2006, it was the noon game, the 3 o'clock game, and Monday Night Football, and that was it.
I
Now
was
you've
gonna
got
say that's got to be what I'm conflating it with is Monday Night Football too. Then, because I could have swore Sunday night exist. Yeah, I could have swore Sunday night existed my whole life, but like I said, must have conflated it then.
Actually, Monday Night Football came what? I'll say that late 70s. In the 70s is when Monday Night Football was like that was a new construct, right? And then we do Sunday Night Football, like let's expand the day, and now it's like let's expand the week. I mean, I don't know. Then the Europe games I have no problem with. I like the way they handle the Europe games because usually you go to Europe, you come home on a bye, right? I mean that's the way it kind of works. Now this is new. Good morning, Fred. This is new this year because we get Minnesota in Europe for back-to-back weeks. That's going to be interesting. How's that going to affect Minnesota playing back-to-back weeks in Europe? 1970. Thank you, Broski. I knew it was somewhere around there. So how's this back-to-back thing going to affect Minnesota? Everyone bring me the numbers now. There we go.
I was gonna
say in the 70s, but I mean it's been around since I can remember. But that was a new construct too, right? When they started Monday Night Football. Look, now we're getting all the dates for everything here. Yep, that's right.
Did you see that Woody sent out that thing yesterday? They're already benching Russ. Jackson Dart is starting this week.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, let me tell you, all the Giants fans around me in this area are rejoicing like they just won the Super Bowl. Because holy shit, let me tell you, they absolutely hated Russell Wilson. At least the ones that I had talked to.
You know what?
Not to derail this Giants talk, but Fred, yeah, the Jags have played back to back, but the same place. This is the first time a team is playing in two different countries back to back. So I should have maybe quantified that when I said that. But for the Jags, though, too, it's also a little different as the Jags ownership owns a Premiership League team and they own their own facilities in London. So when the Jags go to London, they're literally going to their own facilities. They have their own housing. They have everything that's set up for them, and they own it. So none of the other NFL teams have that for the most part. Like when the Bears go, they got to practice on someone else's facility. And finals it, not Jacksonville. They own everything there. Let's go back to the Jackson Dart talk.
Yeah, so I know that Giants fans are super excited and happy that Russ is getting benched, but that's going to put an awful lot of pressure on Dart. Like I hope they're not expecting him to just come out and light the world on fire, you know?
Yeah, let me preface it. A lot of them know that there's going to be struggles and all that with the rookie quarterback, but it's almost like what we were arguing with Penix there, is you might as well get this done and out of the way early because you already know he's the guy, and it's not like there's some incumbent starter in front of him.
I've been
saying it since before the season started. Remember, I said Russ was going to be benched by week 5 and that they should get Dart in there. I'm not against the move. And it makes perfect sense. Like I'd rather have a rookie come out there and look like Russ has been looking than have a veteran come out and look like Russ has been looking. You know, like at least the rookie has an excuse.
If you put in Jameis Winston, you can get the best of both worlds. You can get veteran leadership and somebody playing like a rookie.
Here's the thing. I don't like throwing rookies in. If you have a veteran quarterback, they can play behind for a year. And I've said that before. Look at what it did for Patrick Mahomes. Look at it. I know I'm not the only one because I know a certain other person agrees with me. He's known as the GOAT. Tom Brady was saying the exact same thing this last Sunday. He said, look, it's good when you can have these guys behind a good veteran quarterback. Like, look what happened with Mahomes. He said, look, I watched a good veteran quarterback for my whole first year. He's like, that was invaluable as a young quarterback because you sit there and you learn. You go, yeah, when I go in, I'm going to do this different. I'm going to do that different. I'm going to do, this is how I do that. There is look at Tom Brady even endorses his argument. So there's something to it. There's a good argument to sit the guy for the year. Jameis Winston, let him sit, bench Russ, go with Winston, and let Dart continue to learn.
I couldn't shout that any louder if you gave me a megaphone. That's what I truly believe they should do.
I mean, the way even if you're number one overall, it used to be back in the day, you were number one overall. Didn't necessarily mean you started right away, right? And then we had some guys who matriculate through, did because of situations. Like Peyton Manning gets drafted in the first round. They start him right away because they're like, we suck anyways. Why not? And I think that's how that got started. Is like, we suck anyways. Start the rookie. Let him get trial by fire, whatever. Some sank epically. Some succeeded. The old way of doing it was like, let him sit behind the veteran for a year. We'll train him up, get him ready, and go. But the league has changed from that in so many different ways. We expect rookie quarterbacks to perform better, faster than we did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Coaches are giving less time to get their systems to work. We hire a guy, and if we don't see like dramatic improvement within 2 years, by the third year he's in the hot seat and he's gone. We used to give him 4 to 5 years, right? So we've shortened that timeline. So
unless you were the Raiders, then you got rid of a coach every year.
Yeah, well, that just more proves the point. You've had a lot of 1 year coaches, right? 1 year coaches.
That Tom Brady argument is a good one, but there was one key word in there that you said. I don't know if Brady said it. If he did, then it makes the argument. But he said
a veteran.
He didn't say a good veteran quarterback.
No, he just said. I believe he just said a veteran quarterback. I don't think he said a good.
I have him sitting behind a good veteran quarterback. It's another thing to be sitting behind Russell Wilson because he is not a good veteran quarterback. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with Jim here. Penix shouldn't be starting. Cousins should. I think Jameis Winston should be starting in New York, not Dart. I mean, there are very few, like I said, like in Chicago, okay, you start Caleb Y. Well, you traded away Fields because they could have kept Fields and started Fields, but that would have been weird because once again, the guy at that point, would have been year 4 for Fields.
Yeah, that situation you wouldn't want to do that with because you would have divided your fan base between the people that already loved Fields and wanted him as the starter versus the Caleb people that absolutely loved him and wanted him.
So that situation's a little differently. Like you started, but like for instance, in Minnesota, they could have kept Cousins, drafted JJ, and let JJ sit behind Cousins for a year or two, and then let him walk. In New York, you don't have to start Dart. You've got another good quarterback there, relatively good, decent quarterback that the locker room likes and responds well to. His play maybe is not always great, but he's average to better than average.
I was going to say, yeah, at least it's entertaining even if he loses.
Right.
With the way Winston plays and with how much the fans and teammates love him, to me it seems like a no-brainer.
He's good enough that even though he's not great, he's good enough that he's a very good training piece for Dart to watch, I guess would be a good way of putting it. But Penix should be starting in Atlanta. It should be, and I think that this move should happen. Cousins, get that man in the game. Start winning games in Atlanta before your season fritters away. I mean, but the problem is this: we spend the draft capital very high, on some of these quarterbacks. A top 10 pick, we almost expect them to start in year 1. But let's go back to something I was saying yesterday. Looking like, and people say, yeah, but look at this kid in the Texans. C.J. Stroud was so good his rookie year. Look how much he's slid the last 2 seasons so far. I mean,
to be fair, I won't put that 100% on him. I do think has part of the blame. Don't get me wrong, but the Texans did not do him any favors by dismantling his offensive line.
I mean, but look, but even more to the point, his 1 year, that good rookie year, okay, is the exception, not the rule. Last year with Jaden Daniels is the exception. And Bo Nix, they're exceptions, not the rule. Like, and in both cases, both those teams also overachieved as teams. Not just the quarterbacks overachieved, the whole team's overachieved, right? No one expected Denver or Washington to make the runs they made. And this year they've kind of come back down to earth a little bit, at least early on. But look at some of the best quarterbacks in the history of the league. What do they all have in common? With maybe one or two exceptions. They sat for at least a year.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Penix did sit last year. He sat under Cousins for, I don't know, 13 or 14 games, something like that. And then, like, so it's not like they just threw Penix right in. Like, he already had a year to sit, and now he's starting and he's not playing well. But, I mean, what are you going to do? You want to sit him another year? Okay.
I was going to say that's kind of my point with it, is that you already kind of got the ball rolling by having to start him at the end of last year.
Kind of, yeah.
So why reverse course is my type of thing.
Because last year it was situational because of injury. That's why you benched Cousins. Cousins should have come out earlier after the NOLA game, but he kept trying to go, which was stupid on his part. But you got a $27 million backup there who set franchise records in his first year with the team and is a better quarterback than what you are starting now.
Yeah.
Penix, it's not because he's young per se. It's like you have a better option on your roster right now. So, you know, Penix, you started at the end of last year because you had to. I'm fine when rookies have to start, in that way. Your team carries two quarterbacks. Your veteran goes down injured. Yeah, then you have to start the rookie, right? But that doesn't mean the next year when you still got the guy under contract and you're paying him a boatload of money that you still start the young guy over the guy who's better than him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think Atlanta is an interesting case because they started him at the end of last year. He had to sit for most of the year. Now they're starting him. Like usually when a number one quarterback starts his rookie year, they're starting in game one. So you get that whole 17 games to like see where you're at and put it together by the end of the season. Penix didn't get that. So he's still in his first 17 games. Like he's only 6 games into his first 17 gams. So he hasn't even had a real rookie season yet.
The 3 games he got last year would have been, I'd call them invaluable learning tools for this future. But they should have gone back to Cousins this year. Because he is the better quarterback. With New York, you've got a good veteran on the roster. You kept 3 quarterbacks. Don't evaluate. Don't insert the rookie this soon. Long term, I think in a way you might hurt yourself. Right? Like you don't have to do it. You've got a good option at quarterback in Jameis Winston. But the problem is the fans and the media go, we traded back into the first round for this guy. Look, here's the other thing too about Dart. He's not a top 10 draft pick. He was a late first rounder. Granted, they traded back in to grab him, but he's a later first round guy. There shouldn't be this big push to start him so fast. You've got Winston on the roster.
But again, New York has circumstances as well. Like Dable's ass is on fire on that seat. And he knows it. And so if he starts Jameis and, basically they finish the season with Jameis, Dable's never going to get to find out if Dart's any good or not because he's going to get fired at the end of the season. Or if he even makes it to the end of the season.
I don't think this was a head coaching call to make. I think this was GM centric. I think ownership and the GM said, hey, you're sitting Russ and go with the young guy. I don't think this was Dable. To be honest with you, I think his hand got forced into this a little bit. I think there's a lot of truth to what you said, Joe, but I have this sneaking suspicion that after Dable gets fired and they ask him about it, he'll say, no, management made me make the switch. I didn't want to do it.
Maybe so. I could see more of a situation where they told him, you want to keep your job?
That's what I'm saying. You're going to start hard. You want to keep your job. That's what I'm saying.
Want to keep your job.
But I mean, I think starting Dart this early when you got another good option in Winston on the bench, but I mean, look at some of these guys. We start, they end up doing okay, but it takes time. That's the other problem too. Like, look at. Can you imagine if the Panthers had the Chicago media? Right, they'd be drafting a new quarterback already. But yet now Young is starting to come around. Right, you got to give these young quarterbacks time too, especially the way we throw them in to the fire. You know, just kind of like teaching kids how to swim back in the day. You just threw them in the water. Now we take these rookie quarterbacks, throw them in. And in Chicago, we expect him to be Superman from day one. Well, you're a number one pick, dude. You're still he's coming out of college. It takes a minute to adjust, right? We got to give these guys time. Jordan Love had a great 3 years to sit behind Rodgers, right, and learn, and it helped him immensely. Just even if you don't like Love, you see, but Love still has problems with making some bad throws or whatever you think of the problem in his game is. He at least learned how to be a professional. He learned how to conduct himself. He learned how to operate in practices. He learned how to be in meetings. He learned game situation stuff from watching Rodgers, which he has implemented himself. Right?
Mm-hmm.
He learned all those things that were invaluable to him. Now it's up to him to prove he's worth $55 million. Right, and I agree with some folks out there that Love still is problematic in terms of his contract size, but Love is as good as he was as a late first round draftee because of the 3 years he had to sit there and be mentored by a veteran quarterback and learn all those things. If the Packers had started Love in year one, he'd be out of the league by now.
I was gonna say that there's a definite possibility because he was very raw coming in. And Jim, I couldn't echo this louder if I tried. I really think that there's a good chance Chucky could end up there with the Giants.
Yeah, what do people forget that? They expect rookies to be Peyton Manning when he retired or won Super Bowls. Now they forget the rookie year that he had where he was absolute crap.
Dog water.
Yeah.
Dog water. He set the NFL record for interceptions that year.
I mean,
but then the next year he was good.
We don't even have to talk about older guys like Elway. Let's just look at Josh Allen. First 2 years, they were like, what the hell is this guy in Buffalo?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people like to forget that they were trying to talk about kicking Josh Allen out of the league type of shit because he wasn't developing, was so bad, and then the light clicked his third year.
And now he's the Messiah. Right? I mean, now he's the Messiah. So, I mean, there's a problem in this league in the way we act with rookie young quarterbacks. And I would say to coach, and I'm looking for Dable. He's been, what year is this for Dable? 4, 5?
3 or 4. I think it's 4.
4. So, now is the time where you should start seeing the hot seat if you're not performing. And credit to the Giants for not firing him after last year and giving him year 4. I think 3 years is not enough time for most coaches. Look at if you look at some of these teams that we laud as like being these great teams, their head coaches, it took them 4 or 5 years to get the team moving in the right direction. We just expect everything to be so quick. And I get it because everything is so expensive. I get it. That's the other piece of that. It's not lost on me. We pay these guys so much now. And we pay so much as fans for tickets, for access to games on NFL Sunday Ticket and other platforms that we want immediate results because of the amount of money we spend. And the amount of money our teams spend. But that doesn't change the fact that it still takes time.
I was going to say, and also you got the outside influences of everything being instant gratification here. That you want to watch something, you go to X streaming service, press one button, and 3 seconds later it's on your screen.
Thank you, Woody.
And then with DoorDash shit, you don't even got to get up. I think it's just kind of been ingrained into us to expect this stuff just so rapidly, and we've lost that. Hey, sometimes some things need some development.
Indiana Jones is another good look. I mean, he struggled, and now he goes to, this is technically his third team, but in reality, his second team where he's really playing.
I was gonna say when you listen to him talk, he's massively accrediting KOC with his for his development. He said he learned a lot for the short time that he was there.
Yeah, but the reason I say it is because he didn't really play in Minnesota, right? But
he pretty much just went there to go to school.
Yeah, basically. But once again, we give up too early on quarterbacks, and sometimes it literally is something I said last year and this summer a lot. Coaching matters, right? Sometimes you have a great coach who just isn't good at developing quarterbacks. We've seen Belichick never really developed a quarterback per se. He didn't really develop Brady. Bledsoe developed Brady more than Belichick did. And look what happened with Belichick Belichick didn't take as much time or have as much time as he did with Brady. But we got some really good head coaches out there who just the only reason quarterbacks have developed was because of their quarterback coach or their OC. The coaching matters a lot. Like Caleb they didn't have the right coach for a rookie quarterback with a defensive-minded coach. Well, they could have if the OCs would have been good in Chicago. So there was no development really for Caleb last year. That situation has changed, and we're seeing the fruits of that. I think that's another piece too. Is like we with the quarterback more specifically, and look, this is not easy between quarterbacks and coaches and not giving the time. But there are good coaches that aren't good at developing quarterbacks. And so we'll fire the coach, keep the quarterback, or get rid of the quarterback, keep the coach. But it seems like in both cases, once again, we reset the clock too fast. It's like, give them time. I'm not saying that Eberflus should have got another year in Chicago. His defenses were good, but the guy had two OCs that he picked that were crap. You picked two OCs, they were both crap, and you lost the locker room. That's what really lost. Plus some of his game decisions with the timeouts. There was a lot of things that cost Eberflus's job. But some of these other guys, man, don't implode like Eberflus did, and they get fired too quick. Could you say that with Vegas? Vegas. He definitely bled Vegas. They were kind of starting to change the culture in Vegas because of their you got to see a season and a half. I think maybe they should have given him another season or two. But
who's that?
What was his name? That your last coach before Carroll?
Pierce,
yeah. I think maybe they should have given him another year or two. He was changing the culture. He was changing. And look, culture matters. Look at Detroit.
Yeah, culture matters, but coaching skill matters too. And AP, he just doesn't have the game management skills right now to be a head coach. He's a good raw guy, but as X's and O's and game management, clock management, he left a lot to be desired. And I say that I liked AP, but
he wasn't as heinously bad as Flus was last year.
I don't know. Go back and watch the Raider games last year and see there was a lot of decisions that he made that fans just outright disagreed with. Game management decisions that cost us games and stuff. Which it's the same thing. He was a rookie head coach, so you're it's the same thing as a quarterback. They're going to make mistakes, right?
Give him time, yeah. Give him 3 years, 4 years.
I'm happier with Carroll thus far, just because I know he's a proven coach.
That was the other thing, though, Joe. Is you had the coaches that were available.
Yeah.
This last offseason was was more the reason too, because you had guys like Carroll and Vrabel and Ben Johnson. You had a lot of really good coaches out there to pick from, so that kind of made it easier for the Raiders to do that. But young quarterbacks, give them time. Coaches, you got to give them time. Bears fans expecting the Bears to start off on fire. Would have been nice, and not to say it can't happen with first-time coaches. We've seen it, but that's not the norm. But I'm happy with where the Bears are right now. And look, if we beat the Raiders this week, which I think we will, they're going to go into the bye 2-2, which is, dude, you're still good. You're in it. In fact, what's interesting is, let's say the Vikings lose to the Steelers. Let's say the Packers lose to the Cowboys, right? And I'm just saying, let's say, not that they will, and let's say the Detroit loses whoever they're playing this week. Whatever. You've got a division where everyone's going to be. Well, no, Minnesota needs to win, right? They're 2-1.
Yep.
They're 2-1. The Lions are 2-1. The Packers are 2-1. The Bears are 1-2. Those other three teams lose. The Bears win. All of a sudden, the whole division's 2-2. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're one game of difference. Even if they all win, let's say the whole division wins this week, you're still one game away, and you got, by the way, lots of division games to play. So I mean, no, don't freak out. But at the same time, I don't expect the Bears to win 15 games this year. I think they have the potential to win a lot of games. They have a potential to win 10 games, right? 11 games with the roster they got. If they keep progressing the way they're progressing, if you're trying to make the playoffs, you might not want this to be a team that you might not want to play. What's up, Patty? Come near the end of the year. So I mean, you just got to put everything in perspective and give. And when it comes to, in terms of the Bears, like, look, this is year one under Ben Johnson, and year one with a new DC, new playbooks. You got to give them time to integrate, right? And they're even like with the Bears, they're like, look, they haven't even opened up the full defensive playbook yet because, well, of the quarterback issue, right? So he hasn't really opened it up because he hasn't been sure what he's got. And I think now, as the Cowboys game, I think he's a little more comfortable. We're going to start seeing more. They're going to get a little more comfortable. So you got to give them time. You got to give them time. And same with these rookie quarterbacks. You got to give them time, but also with the quarterback, so you have an option. If you've got a veteran quarterback you can throw in there that's better than this rookie, which it's hard for me to find, I think Winston's still better than Dart at this point. You start him. With Penix, you should have gone with Cousins from week one.
Yeah, I should. I was arguing to start Winston as the quarterback and never sign Russ in the beginning.
Yeah.
What we saw out of Russ the past few years has not been good. And that was even going back to his Seattle days, too. He was fizzling out the last year or two there.
Russ is the Mark Pryor. Okay, you guys know who Mark Pryor was for the Cubs?
I was going to say I vaguely know the name. That's about it.
So in 2003, when they made the run, the two big pitchers on the Cubs were Kerry Wood and Mark Pryor. That was that 1-2 punch at the starting pitching. Mark Pryor hurt his shoulder, like in the 2004 season. He never pitched again, really, in Major League Baseball, but every year for about 10 years, kept getting signed for $1 million a year from different ball clubs because of what he was in 2003 and 4, right? Because he was a dominant pitcher. I think you see that with Russ. Russ was so good in his Super Bowl runs that people are still remembering Russ in that way and say, well, he can get back to that. Kind of like baseball teams say, Mark Pryor is going to get back on the mound and be dominant. Again, we see the potential there. Well, I think Russ is in that same boat. But it's exacerbated because you're being signed to be QB1 in the NFL and getting paid big money, right? I think that's what the thing with Russ is. GMs are like, oh wow, we can get Russ. Wow, Russ is Super Bowl champion and blah blah blah, all this stuff. And it's like they have that mental block where they don't see that, dude, the last 3 years he hasn't been shit. And so I don't necessarily blame him for that, but I think that's what happened there. Winston,
it's not like you're expecting Winston to go out and win you games. To me, he's just there to keep the fan base entertained while you're getting your next guy ready. I wouldn't want to hitch my wagon to him and think, we're going on a playoff run with this guy, because I don't think that's possible. I just think that he's serviceable enough for like a stop bridge quarterback.
And Woody, I'd agree with you if people in the locker room liked him and if he was a likable guy, but like he's not even good in the locker room. Like he's become a negative in the locker room, so you're not even getting that positive teaching effect out of him. In fact, he might be teaching guys the wrong things.
Yep, exactly, A-Dub.
I just with Atlanta though, like if you were, I don't necessarily disagree with you, Ken, that maybe they could have gone back to Cousins to start the season, but I think now you can't do that. Like you, Penix's confidence already probably isn't terribly high the way he's played this last couple games.
Yeah.
So to pull him for Cousins now, you're going to destroy anything you might have had with the kid. Like at this point, you're in for a penny, in for a pound with Penix, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
especially after this last loss, how bad it was to the team that it was that most, at least the majority of the opinion on them is that they have, if not the worst defense in the NFL, one of the worst, and to put up 0 on that, yeah, I definitely think that adds to your point of this kid. You're going to destroy his confidence pulling him now.
No, I agree with that. You are kind of, that's what I'm saying though. But Joe, my argument's more that Penix should have never been the starter to begin with. It should have been
right, and I don't disagree with that argument per se. But now they're stuck. They and I don't think that's a bad thing because I think Penix really does have potential. And you know, like I think that some people are making a mistake in that they look at the last 3 games that he started last year and they're counting that as his rookie season. Like they're saying, well, you know what I mean? Like it's his second year, he should be doing this. No, it's not his second year. It's his 6th game. Yeah. Like a rookie that starts game 1 gets 17 games. And by the end of that 17 games, you should start to see some progress if the guy's got it. You may not see him lighting the world on fire, but you see signs that, okay, this guy can play, right?
Yep.
So I'm just saying he's 6 games in. Let's wait another 11 games and let's see where he is towards the end of this season, right? Like
now you're stuck with
week 12 or 13.
You're stuck with him for a couple years now.
Yeah, but I'm saying let's reevaluate Penix. Like,
but here's the other thing with Penix, though, right? Those 3 games last year, he didn't necessarily set the world on fire either.
No, but they were his first starts. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I'm saying, like, let's reevaluate Penix week 13, week 14, after he's had his 17 games, and let's see where he's at then, you know?
I mean, okay, fine. I can agree with that, but still the point is he should have started. I mean, his 3 games last year, he had 1 or 2, ooh, wow throws, and that is literally it because he made 1 or 2 ooh, wow throws, which, by the way, Cousins made some ooh, wow throws last season, too. It's like, oh, my God, he's the future. He's going to be so great. His numbers weren't that good in those 3 games. They weren't much better than what an injured Kirk Cousins was doing. But because he made some ooh, wow throws, we're going to jettison Cousins to the bench and start this kid now. No, you've got a better quarterback on the bench, but now you're fucked because you made the decision to start him. You're right, Joe. You can't bench him now because then you might as well just cut the kid because you've destroyed this kid. So now they're really fucked because now you've got a $27 million backup quarterback, which, yeah, he's great insurance should Dart get hurt. Or, should Penix get hurt. But you've got your best quarterback is on the bench. And you can't start him because if you do, you've just ruined the investment you made in Penix when you drafted him at what, 9? Mm-hmm. I mean, you've basically thrown that pick away. So now you have no choice. So I agree with you. We should probably evaluate him more later in the season after he's played 17 games in the NFL. I can get on board with that. But the point is they shouldn't be in that position right now. They should have started Cousins from jump. And if the fans aren't happy, oh, well, they're still going to show up and go to games, especially if they win.
And before last week's games, I would have said the Jets. But the Dolphins are actually putting up a bit of a fight. And I'm going to say that one's a pure toss-up, at least at this point in the week.
Yeah, when's Fields coming back for them?
He might be back this week because I thought it was only concussion protocol he was in.
Yeah, Fields, look at the Jets with Fields wins this game. The Jets without Fields, you could see they weren't as good as the team without Fields last week. So if Fields is playing, I'll give that game to the Jets. Look at Miami's a dumpster fire still. Yeah, they got the win last week, but overall, that team still has way too many issues. I still see them as sellers, and why not? I think they should. I think, just trade Cheetah already. Get a good second-round pick for him while you still can, before he says some more crap that makes teams not want to trade for him, or does something else stupid like the ticket last year. But I think they're a team that might be trading out some veterans as they get at the trade deadline. They got some good young guys on the roster. They probably need to bring up and start that rebuild now.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Bizarro world, man.
Hey, Fred, I was just saying I just said, look, if that were to happen, and this was more talking to Bears fans, if let's say this week the division loses and the Bears win, the whole division is 2-2. Even if, and I said, Fred, even if the whole division wins out, you're still only a game behind this early in the season. So don't freak out if you're Chicago with some of these guys with their expectations are through the roof. Like, they're still doing all right, is what I said. So I don't think the division loses out this week. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't think Green Bay loses to Dallas. Minnesota, that's going to be a good game with the Steelers. And who are the Lions playing again?
Oh, I don't know offhand. Hold on.
Does it even matter? The Lions look so good right now.
Did Mitch just really say the Packers need to start? Ken,
that might be the issue.
You didn't just see that, Ken? Mitch just said that the Packers need to start the rebuild now.
I did. He's just hoping that we do.
Oh, man.
What he said, they play the Browns. That's going to be a good game, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be a good game. So, I mean, but the Lions right now, I think, are the best team in the NFL. I had them, right now I have them as number one in the NFL. Week one being what it was, fine. They were obviously out of sorts. The communication wasn't there. They've obviously corrected that, as you've seen the last 2 weeks. I think they're kind of back to form. I think the Lions are probably the best team. Right now, I'd have them one in the power rankings. I don't see – I mean, they're clicking already. At least they're a lot more – yeah, they're clicking better right now. I think if that week one game happened this week, it'd be a much different game. That Packers-Lions game, if that was a week 4 game, I think it's a much different game than what it was in week 1.
I was going to say, you got to be careful about thinking that way.
I don't know if they'll destroy them, but I think they have a good chance of winning. I think they'll win the game.
I was going to say, I don't know if the Ravens defense is up to snuff. You saw how they let Buffalo back in that game.
Well, no, I mean, they destroyed. I'm not saying, Baltimore's defense was not the normal great Baltimore defense. I mean, come on, they ran ridiculous. Okay, see, Woody, that's too far. I was
going to say, there's no way you're scoring 40 points on that defense.
I think it's going to be like a 17-10 kind of victory for them. It's going to be a close game, but the Packers have been a little overhyped since the trade, and I get it. It's like the Khalil Mack effect when Chicago did it in 2018. There's going to be some overhype. The Lions are a better team than the Packers are. The Packers losing, it doesn't look good for them when one of their players goes, I think we can go undefeated this year, and then they go into Cleveland and lose. But I think the Lions are a better football team now than the Packers are now.
I'm not convinced that the Lions are a better team than the Packers right now. I think they've played 2 good games, but I don't know. I'm curious to see when they play again. Like, now that the Lions have got their feet under them, right. I think that's when we'll determine who's the better team.
I was going to say Thanksgiving's game is going to be a hell of a game.
And I'll just say this, the Raiders are coming off 2 bad losses, Ken. So either you're getting them at the right time or you're getting them at the wrong time. That's all I'm going to say.
I think, if you paid real close attention to what I said before the game, I said that this could have been a trap game and to not overlook that defense. I was worried about that game, and I said that.
Joe, I think right now the way the Bears defense is playing against the run, Genty has a good game. So it's going to come down to your defense a little bit, which is struggling, and see if they're taking the next step, as well as the Bears offense taking the next step. I think the Bears should win this game, but I'm not ruling out. I'm not going to say like they're going to do what they did to Dallas. Now, for Dallas with the Packers, that's interesting. I think the Packers should win that game. Right, but look, once again, Dallas has capabilities, and they know how to play against Parsons. And look at Cleveland, first play of the game, they ran right at Parsons for an 8-yard gain. The Browns have a decent running game. I think, dude, that guy, what's his name for the boys? He's actually, I think the boys have a little better running game than Cleveland does. But the other thing that the boys have better than Cleveland is an offense. Even without CeeDee Lamb, they got a
better. We're going to say, without CeeDee Lamb, I don't know how afraid of that offense I am. Granted, George Pickens is still a bitch to deal with, but I'm not terrified of that offense.
But defensively, the Packers won't have the problems they had last week against Cleveland. And if Eberflus, I don't know why he played zone against Caleb.
That's what I was about to say. If he plays zone against us like he did against Chicago,
then yeah, I mean, here's the one thing that I didn't understand about Eberflus's decision there as a defensive coordinator. It's like, dude, you know Caleb better than any defensive coordinator in the NFL. And you played zone coverage on him all day and got no pressure on him. What the fuck is up with you? If you do that against the Packers, Love is going to carve you up.
Yep. Shit, I hope, beg and pray that's what they decide to do.
Now, look it. He knows
we need little pass rush right now. We still got a bunch of injuries, and Zach Tom already got ruled out for the Cowboys game, which usually I'm all upset about, but I'm happy about this one. Let this guy heal. He is a major point. A major. I'm drawing a freaking blank. He's hugely important to the offensive line. I got a bunch of things on my mind today.
And like a couple guys said, you don't know what Dak you're going to get, and look at the defense could play well. And look at, I mean, obviously their defensive coordinator knows this Packers team. He faced them twice a year, so there's some familiarity there. But like, dude, you just played against a quarterback that you were literally the head coach of last year, and he had a career day against you.
I was about to say it might have taken an extra year, but Eberflus finally made Caleb look good.
Yeah,
but see, here's the thing, man. It's like if you're into horse racing, right? Like you can know the track, you can know the jockey, you can know all this, but at the end of the day, it comes down to the horses, bro. And I'm just telling you, the Packers got better horses than the Cowboys. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with you. But the Packers, while they have better horses, also have their own. Look at both teams have issues. The Packers have less. They have a better team overall. I think they'll win this game, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised to see people picking Cowboys as an upset special this week.
I would be surprised to see the Cowboys pull off that upset special. That would be a huge upset to me.
I agree with you, but any given Sunday, so I mean,
yeah, any given Sunday. But
so I think it's highly the only NFC North team that I really think is gonna. I think the Lions game is gonna be the toughest of the four. I'm not trying to take away from the Steelers because they are really good still, but that defense, man, Minnesota's defense is the best defense in the division. I think. I don't know, and the problem is too is Pittsburgh is kind of not consistent right now. The Browns' defense is probably the number one defense in the NFL.
Yeah. So Jim asked, what if the Lions smack around the Browns? Like, does that make them better than the Packers? But what I want to go the opposite direction. What if the Browns beat the Lions after they just beat the Packers?
Yeah. Well, that'll legit. That'll even we're out of time really, but that'll legitimize the Browns more and say, really, you need to go get a good quarterback, and you can really be a Browns team. But with that bad take, we're out of time. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Yep, we know CeeDee Lamb is out.
Don't forget, we got a bunch of shows today. We got the MMA show. We
might not have the MMA show tonight.
Okay. We have House Hall tonight, and then we got the round table tonight. We're out of time. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everyone.